Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Bill, and today I'm going to be reviewing Hammerwatch by Bitworks for the Nintendo Switch. Just a heads up, I did receive this game for free. This is not an advertisement, but I did not pay for this game. I just want to be as transparent as possible. Let's start with an overview. This is a top-down 16-bit style gauntlet style game. It's a dungeon crawler, and it's kind of a twin stick shooter. The game includes 4-player co-op, and this is currently couch-based co-op. It does not have online as of yet. However, the developer has said that they are going to be bringing the online co-op later on with a free update, so that's great. The game includes 7 classes, including the Sorcerer class, which is brand new to the Switch. This is a game that was out on PC before, and that did not include the Sorcerer, so the Sorcerer is brand new, and if you've never played before, this is your chance to check out the Sorcerer that the original game received on Steam. The real gameplay, the crux of the gameplay, is like any dungeon crawler, except this one has combos, which is really, really cool. Now, each class is going to have their own style of dealing with combos. I focused on the Ranger. They have 2 main abilities. They have one where they're basically just shooting arrows out in front of them, and then their other ability is they can drop a bomb. So basically what Rangers are they feel like the masters of kiting. So they can kite a mob along and then drop some bombs in their path, especially getting big groups of mobs to chase them down and drop a bomb in their path, blow them up for a big combo. Now, the combos in the game activate when you've killed 10 or more monsters in a set amount of time. And as you continually increase that kill count within that, before the little timer reaches 0, that is going to increase the effects of the combo. There's a couple of different ways that you can upgrade your combo. Maybe you can earn health while your combo is up, or you can have a Nova which sends out waves of energy in all directions around your character, damaging the monsters that happen to be nearby. The first thing that I got on my Ranger was the ability to move and shoot faster once I got my combo up. So what you'll find is at the very beginning of a fight, you're going to want to try and take out as many small enemies as you can, and then your combo stats jump into effect, and you're much more powerful and harder for the enemies to deal with. The way that you progress your character is based on money. So as you are playing the game, you're going to earn gold, and you can find different levels of vendors, and they will sell you upgrades to your character, like the healing when your combo is up, or the Nova when your combo is up. And you get to pick where it is that you want to put your points. Maybe you want to spend more your money on getting yourself some more mana, or so that you can do more bombs as a Ranger. Or maybe you want to put those points into health because you're not so good at the game and you're taking a lot of damage, and you want to make sure that you don't run out of health. Maybe you want to increase the damage that each arrow does when it strikes a target, or you want to have the arrows go through enemies and hit enemies behind them using penetration. These are all choices that you get, and there's a lot of risk and reward in the way that you play the game, which is really fun. I like that a lot. As far as the difficulty goes, if you're not careful, the game can quickly turn into a bullet hell game, especially if you're surrounded by ranged attackers. Ranged attackers are a lot more difficult to deal with than melee attackers. Melee attackers are easy to kite, whereas ranged attackers, you really have to get aggressive with them and get up in their face to try and take them out as fast as possible. Most of the monsters are going to have a spawner somewhere nearby, and they'll just keep spawning out of that, and you have to shoot that and destroy the spawner, just like in an old Gauntlet game on the arcade, which I found was really, really fun. It made me play very aggressive. I had to get up there and try and take it out. I couldn't sit back and turtle, or play defensively. You have to play offensively, or you're going to get surrounded. You're going to get cornered. It's easy to get overwhelmed in the game. It's easy to die in the game. You have to play smart. You have to be aggressive. At least that's the way that I felt like I was playing the best. If you want to unlock, well, if you want to, as you play, you start to unlock bosses. In order to unlock the boss of the act, there'll be buttons around the different levels that you're fighting through, and you're going to ping pong between various floors. So maybe you'll be on floor 1 and you'll find a button there. Then you'll end up on floor 2 and find a key on floor 2, and you'll go back to floor 1, open up a gate, and that'll take you to steps to floor 3. So you're constantly switching whatever level you are on. And your ultimate goal, and the game doesn't really explain this at the beginning, but your ultimate goal is to find these buttons which unlock the gate to fight the boss. And after you unlock them, you'll end up fighting the boss, and the bosses can be quite a challenge. They don't come down to, in MMO terms, a tank and spank fight where you're just, trading blows to see who runs out of health first. There are mechanics that you have to overcome. You have to, a good example is one of the bosses that I fought. There were buttons on the floor, and if you stepped on the buttons, it would put up these pillars. Now, the first thing that I noted, or it didn't really seem terribly useful at first, but every once in a while, the boss would send out this huge wave of projectiles. And there really wasn't a good way to dodge them. But if I stepped on the button at the right time, these pillars would pop up out of the ground and give me something to hide behind. And it's things like that that make a boss fight interesting. I feel like the boss fights in this game are very fun and well designed, and I enjoyed them without a doubt. They can also be very, very difficult. I wish I had the opportunity to test it in multiplayer. Unfortunately, because there's no online and my son really didn't enjoy the game, I haven't had a chance to test out the multiplayer. If I do get a chance to test the multiplayer and anything changes, just make sure that you look below, or I'll probably post another video about it in the future. A couple of quality of life changes that I'd like to see with this game. I wish that there was an on-screen gold counter. There were more than once where I went to a vendor and there was an upgrade that they had, and I wanted that upgrade, but I couldn't get it because I didn't have enough money at the time. And then I was out trying to farm some money, and I looked at I looked at my pause screen, and I'm trying to find where is it that it shows me where my gold is, and I couldn't find it. And I'm not sure if I just couldn't find it because it wasn't there, or I couldn't find it because I just failed at that. Well, anyway, having that like just down in the corner of the screen would really have been helpful, because then I would know, oh, okay, I need 900 gold for this. I'm going to keep my eye on that corner of the screen, and when I get 900 gold, I can head back to that vendor and buy what it is that I was looking for. I wish that you could pan the map around. If you hit the minus button, it brings up the map, and it's overlaid right on top, so you can leave that open while you're fighting, or while you're moving around. I wouldn't recommend that you do it while you're fighting. But I wish that I could use the right stick to pan the map around and just to look for something that I missed maybe, because it automatically fills in the map as you're playing through. And that would be a really nice feature, especially if you're having trouble, like you're lost and you're not sure where it is that you should go next, because you can't see the entire map at once. You can only see a small section of it. So being able to pan the map would be a huge help when you get stuck like that. I'd also really like it if the map would disappear if I entered combat. So I'm running around looking at the map, trying to find these, whatever it is that I'm missing, and some monster starts attacking me. I might not notice right away, and I would like it if the map would just disappear, and that would be a good trigger to let me know, hey, look out, you're in a fight now. The game has some really great retro graphics, somewhere between 8 and 16-bit. It feels very true to the source material, if that's the right phrase. I guess what I'm trying to say is it feels like this is a game that could have existed somewhere in the 8 to 16-bit era. It doesn't have things that jump out where you're like, well, they never could have done that. I guess the only thing that makes me say that this wouldn't have happened back in the 8 and 16-bit areas, just the number of sprites that can be on the screen at once, between my bullets, the monsters chasing me down, all the different projectiles that are flying around the screen. There's a lot to avoid, and like I said during the gameplay section, it can turn into a bullet hell shooter. That's a lot of stuff on the screen, and I don't know if old consoles would have been able to do that. It works really, really well on the Switch, and I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I think the graphics are fantastic, and it's an art style that very much appeals to me as somebody who grew up during the 8 and 16-bit eras. The audio is very good. I like the music a lot. I do have some issues with the music, though. The levels are fairly long. You're going to be doing an act for quite a long time. And when you're doing that one act, there is one song. And while the songs are good, they are also short and they don't loop very well. So the end of the song doesn't loop back to the beginning of the song in a very subtle way. So when you get to the end of the song and it just cuts and then starts the song over, it can be quite jarring. And I didn't like that. It made the songs, the music feel very, very repetitive. Luckily, the developers saw fit to allow us to shut off their music and play our own. I think that's a fantastic choice. I would have liked it better if they just had a variety of songs that would play instead of just the one song. Even if they took all of the different songs from all of the different acts as well as the DLC and just made all of them randomized. Like pick one, have it seamlessly switch into the next song. I think that would have been a lot better than what they did with the music. The controls for the game, it's a twin stick shooter, basically. And because of that, it's very much better on the Pro controller than it is on the Joy-Cons. That being said, if you want, you can take off the Joy-Cons, hand one to a friend, and you can each play. It's not very comfortable to play like that, and you lose a lot of your mobility because it's a twin stick shooter. They did put in the ability for you to just use one stick to play, but it just doesn't work very well, and so I would never play like that. I would always make sure that I had two sets of full controllers to play Hammerwatch. That's just me, though. When I was playing, even on the Pro controller, like my index finger, my right index finger, which holds down the trigger button to attack, I felt like I was just holding that trigger down the entire time that I was playing. And I felt like the game would have been better suited to not have to hit that trigger at all. And if my right stick is pointing a direction, I am attacking that direction, whether I'm pulling a trigger or not. I think that would alleviate a little bit of the fatigue that I got as I was playing. And I probably would have played for longer stretches had I been able to do that. Like I said before, you can play with a single Joy-Con, but it's not very comfortable. It's playable, but not comfortable, and I wouldn't play like that. Mild annoyances aside, this is a solid port of a very good game. It's very fun in single-player mode. I can imagine that it's going to be way better in multiplayer mode. I'm looking forward to testing it out when that's done. If it gets released and the online isn't very fun, I'll definitely let you guys know. But I'm going to assume that it's probably going to be good as long as you have a stable connection, and this is key, as long as you are able to easily find a match. Now, this is something else that I reached out to the developer and they weren't able to get back to me. Again, it's the holidays, so I really can't put the blame on them. It just happens to be when I'm doing my review on this. The thing that I wonder, is there cross-play, and I couldn't find anything on the website about this, but is there cross-play between the PC version and the Switch version? We've seen that in Rocket League by Psyonix. We've seen that in, gosh, there was another game that I played recently that had cross-play between the Switch and the PC and the Xbox version. I can't remember the name of it. And Minecraft also is going to have that. So this is something that we're seeing a lot of. I hope that Hammerwatch is one of those examples where we're going to be able to play with people who are on the PC, because that's just going to increase the pool of players that you can find a match with. Well, that's it for my review of Hammerwatch. Let me know what you think of the game in the comment section below if you pick it up. Don't forget that I have a Nintendo podcast called Nintendo Switchcraft. You can find that at runjumpstomp.com/listen. You can also find it in Apple Podcasts or Google Play Music or pretty much any podcast app that you use. You can find the show there. Just search for Nintendo Switchcraft. Don't forget, I also stream on Twitch. You can stop by there sometime. And thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think of this game. I think it's a really good game, and it's definitely something that I would recommend if you like Gauntlet-style games. Bye-bye.